Welcome back everybody. Today we have a very exciting unboxing. I'm going to be unboxing some Posca pens, so let's dive right into it. Okay, so opening it up. How cute, we got a little thank you. Thank you for placing your order. Oops, sorry. Your parcel's carefully packaged by Cindy, so thank you to Cindy. So we got a bunch of people. Is Cindy on here? Aha, so there's Cindy. Alright, so we got that. Got advertisement, that's pretty standard in Australian stuff sometimes. Oh, how cool, we got little sweets. I've never actually had unboxing like this where you get little sweets. I know other unboxings do that, but I've never actually received one that does that, so that's pretty cool. So opening it up, this is protect it, and there we go. Got our goodies. So I picked up the 5M pastel color set. Obviously first time I didn't really know which sizes would be the best to start out with, so we've got the 5M, got a little sticker, that's pretty cute, and then I got a white in 1M, silver in another 1M, we have a 5M black because the pastel set didn't have one, and then we have a 3M, bronze, that was right, bronze. And then the last thing in the box is a little colour chart, which is handy, so we can use this to our advantage, but I will be making our own colour chart. So these are all the goodies that we got in the pack. So I'm very excited to start swatching and then hopefully make some creations with it. What I did just notice was there is a little doggy on their sheet of stuff, which is pretty cute. Alright, shuffle things around a little bit. Got a colour chart there. And we'll open the colour set up, the box set I mean, and see which colours we got. So we have white, we've got sunshine yellow, to see that there if it focuses. We have apricot, light pink, coral pink, lavender, light blue, and aqua green on top of our white in the, what did I get? 1M, the silver, the bronze, and the black. So this is our collection that we have to work with, which is very exciting. So I'm going to test it on two different types of paper. So just move these to the side. So I've got this sketchbook in 105 GSM acid-free paper. It's just like a cheap sketchbook kind of thing. And then I'm going to test it in the Derwent Academy watercolor artist pad, which is 300 GSM. So this one has, if you can see, I'm not sure if you can. Yeah, I don't think it's going to show, but it has a little bit of sort of a texture to it compared to this one is just a pressed paper, but it feels like maybe a potentially a hot press paper. So I think first things first is we shall open all of these up. Okay, so I saw somewhere that you could just twist it and it would pop off, but it's not doing that. Maybe you have to twist it hard. Oh, there we go. Alright. trying to take this one off and it just completely flew off. So there we go, we have our 12 different coloured Posca pens. So we have a look at our sheet, our sheet. We have the pastel range down here. So it comes in a 5, 3, 1 MR, but not the coral pink, and the 1M, except for, interestingly, the glacier blue doesn't carry across. You get a light blue instead. But it doesn't appear on here. That's interesting. Maybe they just swapped it out, because I can see it's in the standard here. Right, so we'll pop that there. Now I think we will start in the regular sketchbook and see what the swatches look there. Okay, so I think we will just go straight down the line. Now, if you guys don't know anything about Posca, it is an acrylic paint marker, and so when you pop off the cap, actually this is not a good example. Let's grab another. Let's grab it. See, the colour isn't in the nib because you have to shake it and activate it. So we'll start with the white, even though I know it's white paper, but I'm curious to see if it shows up. And we will go down the line testing them all out. There we go. Alright, so you've got to shake a little bit to really get them going at the first, but you can see it pop up there on the page. Alright, so we'll dot a line and maybe a box. Let's do that. Okay. Ooh, the nib just came straight out of that one. Another little trick, if you guys didn't know, the nibs are replaceable, but the fact that it just flew straight out is kind of weird. And I'm glad I didn't shake it while the lid was on, because if like popping it out, it probably would have just, the paint would have just flown out. Okay, so camera cut out annoyingly. But this yellow one, I don't know if it's because the nib flew out or not, but it's a little bit grainy. Like, I wasn't sure if that was the paint or the nib. Okay, so now for the apricot color. You can see the color is coming down at the nib because it was white, and now it's turning into that orange color. Okay. See that circle has that, I don't know if you can see it, it's got kind of painty textured grit stuff that this yellow stuff had. The streak was fine though, so let's refocus. Yeah, I don't know what it is, if it is the paper or the pen, so we'll play around with that. So that one was the apricot. Next up we've got the light pink. It's cool that you can see the paint actually come down that nib. Now we have the coral pink. They're all such nice colors. I don't think I'd really say that the yellow is a pastel, but definitely these ones are pastel. Although actually I'm seeing that box dried a little streaky, so let's make another box. See if it dries the same, if it's that color, or maybe I just painted it strangely. I'm liking this coral pink color. Now we have the lavender one. Okay, I think maybe the grit is coming from the paper. And this, again, dried a little streaky, so I don't know if it's that pink. And I don't feel like going over it again on this paper because it seems to be kind of ripping it up a little bit. So perhaps on this paper to try and sort of limit going over and over the same area. Now we have the light blue Posca. And just a reminder, these ones are the 5M Poscas. I have yet to try the other sizes, but it feels like a good starting size for beginners. It's not too thick, but it's not thin either. It's like sort of good chunky medium ground. Alright, so now we have the Aqua Green. I feel like, actually that dried a little, is it still drying? I don't know, they all seem to be a little streaky, but that could just be this paper because it is, you know, like cheap of the cheap kind of sketchbook. So that's why we're going to test it on that watercolor paper next. Okay, that's a nice color. It's certainly a touch darker than the lid, but also the darkness could just be the paper quality, so we'll see. Now we have the white in the 1M. So actually, you can see the difference in the nibs. This one is a lot chunkier versus this two. So that's kind of interesting. It's a lot pointier. It's interesting that pumping this one down is actually leaving marks on my page. Yeah, you can kind of see. There we go, some paint is coming out. So this is the 1M. So it's a significantly smaller. Definitely not one you'd probably want for colouring in. Yeah, I bought this one specifically thinking of using it to line if you didn't want black as a liner, and it definitely works for that idea. I don't think you would want a 1M for colouring. Alright, now we're up to the silver. Once again, it's got that pointier nib, and it, not that I felt those before, but this one is a lot, ooh, look at that. It's it feels different. It's like it feels more plasticky or something, rather than those are sort of a softer look. So this one, like, I pumped twice and it came out. It was very quick compared to those. You had to pump, like the 5Ms, you had to pump a lot. This one just took 2 pumps. But once again, it's a 1M, and it's not really something you would want to use for colouring in. It's got a bit of shine to that one, so I'd say this is probably in the metallic range. Yeah, metallic. So that's actually a nice one. It'll be good for little details. That's again why I got it in a 1M, because thinking the silver is not something you'll probably use for super, you know, like block out colours. It's more for details, and so that's why I got that one in 1M. And I think it's nice. It's got that sort of sheen in the light. Now we have the bronze again. Actually, no, this one is a 3M in comparison. So you see, it's a little bit bigger. The nib is again like the 5Ms. It's not that very super pointy, plasticky feel. You can see it's starting to come down the brush. Well, not the brush, the nib. So being that in-between size, a line you don't notice huge amount. I mean, you can notice a little bit the difference. I think it's okay for coloring small areas. It would be a bit of a pain if you had to color in large areas. Again, it's got that nice sheen to the metallic color, and it is listed as metallic. So this one was the bronze. I think it's a good size overall, being an in-between size. And the last one we have left is another 5M, like the rest, in black. I've got cat hair on my book. My cat is actually behind my seat at the moment, like rubbing up against me, so I have one hand on the Posca and one hand petting her, and that's how I got cat hair on my book. You can see it's slowly starting to come down the brush now. The nib, I said that again. Alright. There you go. So you can see it's a little streaky, so maybe I should be pumping a little bit more on that nib, but I don't want to over pump it because I've seen that the paint can really flow out of it again. I can see this metallic one, these metallics are dry and is a little bit sort of, not streaky, but you can see where my brush marks were. The black has good coverage, they all have good coverage really. Although that yellow I question, but yeah, so those are the 12 colours. So that is all of these colours on this paper. So now we'll try swatching them on the watercolour paper as well and see if it makes any difference. So I'll just pop this one off to the side so we can see the difference. We've got the Delwant watercolor pad in the 300 GSM. So let's find a blank page. It's just my cat is demanding pats in the background. It makes it very hard for me to do this. Anyway, so we've got our paper, which is slightly textured, and we'll just quickly swatch all of these colours. So don't have to shake as much this time. So you can see the white, but obviously on white paper it's a bit harder. I feel the yellow is showing up a little better than on our sketchbook paper. Going over it, I see that the paper started to lift a little bit. Apricot. The light pink colour. Looks like a smiley face. No, not like a smiley face, but like, you know, there's just kind of faces. That actually had really good coverage in comparison to the sketchbook paper. Oh, anyway. I'm slowly and slowly losing my chair to my cat. I've got like this much room or less that I'm sitting on because she's just slowly taking over. That noise you can probably hear. She's got a little scratchy thing, she just hopped off to scratch that. So I have my chair back. Alright, so I can definitely see the coverage on this paper compared to this sketchbook paper is a lot better. So that's something to keep in mind, that paper does matter, which I know personally I try to get away with just like cheap paper supplies if I can, because I know sketchbooks can get expensive, but it does show that it does make a difference. So that's something to keep in mind. Now we got the light blue. The Aqua Green. The skinny 1M white. I can feel that this sort of textured paper, you can feel it under this tip because it's a bit harder, so that is a bit strange. So maybe a non-textured paper for the 1Ms would be the best. So you can kind of see there that the paint kind of at the top and the bottom, like there's extra paint, and I think that's potentially because I overshaked or overpumped the paint because it came out too much. It's a bit better. But yeah, it feels a bit strange, this nib, this harder nib on the textured paper. We have the bronze in 3M. And the black in the 5 again. So maybe we'll put that one over here. There we go. So those are our swatches. So you can see that I think this paper, as I said before, it does look nicer than the sketchbook paper. So I think now we've got our swatches, we should try and draw something. I think I'm going to sketch a koi fish for no other reason than I feel like sketching a koi fish. It has nothing to do with the colours because I don't think it really goes well with the colours, but we're going to make it a colourful koi fish.
I actually had so much footage that I'm going to have to split this video into 2. So if you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and subscribe, because next video will be the part 2 to this, where I will sketch and test out how the pens work and how the sizes are and everything like that. So if you are interested in me sketching this koi fish, then please stay tuned for the next video, and I hope you have a great day. Bye.